Now, the head of Lincolnshire's police authority has criticised the government for the way it works out funding levels, saying it's been left as the poorest force in the country.
He says it's down to a formula which claims the county has more wealthy achievers than London and the home counties. A Home Office review is underway, but the authority chairman and the chief constable have spoken to Calendar about the huge challenges they face. Here's Mark Whitty.
Covering 2,700 square miles, Lincolnshire is considered by many as an idyllic countryside location, with a 50-mile coastline stretching from the estuary of the Humber to the Wash. But its rural beauty is just a mask for problems facing any police force. Like any other force, it relies on government funding and the amount charged on residents' council tax bills. But according to senior police officials, the formula used to divvy out the grants is not only virtually incomprehensible, but discriminates heavily against Lincolnshire.
It is absolute gobbledygook. I couldn't even pretend to remember the detail, but if I tell you it's the number of bars divided by the number of wealthy achievers times goodness knows what. But wealthy achievers apparently means if you've got a big house and a reasonable sized garden, you are by definition wealthy. That is obvious nonsense. If you think of a place like Lincolnshire, because it's such a vast county, there are lots of big houses with lots of land. It doesn't make the occupants rich.
To get a flavour of its unique policing challenge, our cameras spent 2 days following officers along the county's A and B roads.
If you see anybody acting suspiciously, if you can give us a ring.
Yeah.
And also,
Nigel Wass is making house-to-house inquiries after reports a bogus caller got into a pensioner's house, claiming to be an undercover policeman.
nobody would want anybody going through the private possessions, going through the house, so the after effects of this can be enormous.
30 miles away in Friskney, Wildlife Officer Dave Brennan's work takes in the murkier side of the rural landscape. A farmer's field near Boston is seen by some as a ready-made venue for illegal so-called sports.
The gambling is the biggest end of the problem in terms of the hare coursing. We also consider that they may be looking at the ideas and taking stuff back with them, whether it be diesel theft, whether it be plant theft. So it's the associated crime linked in with them. We've also got the traffic offences. Quite often they're using vehicles, no insurance, no tax or MOT. So there's an issue there affecting the public.
In a secluded part of the county, an arrest by Humberside Police colleagues has led Lincolnshire officers to a remote farmhouse with a special welcome for anyone arriving unexpectedly. It turns out to be one of the biggest cannabis factories ever uncovered in the county.
They'll utilise the whole house and they'll have grows in each room, and they want to make the most use of the space that they've got. So the people who are here tendering the plants will all commune and live in one room, and the rest of the house will be devoted to growing and cultivating these cannabis plants. When they're harvested, there could be a street value of up to £200,000.
Without the intelligence, local knowledge and funding, that haul might not have been discovered. So what does the chief think of the government's funding formula?
Frustrated, really, because I referred earlier to the brilliant work that my officers do, and you've been out and seen some of it, and they really do some outstanding, life-changing work on occasions. They're frustrated because they know they could do so much more if the funding formula enabled us to have a few more officers. I share their frustration.
I don't want to be alarmist, but terrorism, organised crime, these are the sort of things that are going on here. The public don't see them, government doesn't want to see them, and we have to pay to counter them.